Saturday afternoon at the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. The Bowling Green men's basketball team continuing their 5-game homestand, welcoming in the Kansas City Roos. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us alongside Brandon Lowe. I'm Brad Woznicki. If you like defense, you're in the right place. Bowling Green has been the top scoring defense in the Mid-American Conference so far this season, holding opponents to 40%, while KC coming in here holding opponents to just 51 points a game when they come out on top. And both these teams are playing for something too. For Bowling Green, you look ahead at the schedule, and this is a team that sits at 6-3 right now and could very well enter conference play at a record of 9-3 if they close out their non-conference schedule with wins. On the other side for Kansas City, they're looking to battle back to the 500 mark with a win today. And for Bowling Green, one guy you want to keep your eye on today is Deshaun Humphrey, the senior from Detroit, Michigan, one of the newest Falcons coming into this season. He is a guy that has been starting since the beginning of the season, earns his time out there with his defense first, can also hit from outside. And it's a guy right now that, quite frankly, he's been going through a little bit of a cold spell recently. You go back 2 games ago at Southern Indiana, he was 0 for 10 from the floor. Last time out, he only shot the ball 3 times. Could that have anything to do with the game before? Who knows, but I expect this guy to come back out in a big way here today. And for the Roos, Jamar Brown, the junior from Chandler, Arizona. He can shoot it, we know that, but he also finds different ways to be effective when he's not leading the team offensively. Gets after it defensively and very smart with his shots. Jamar Brown's another one of those 6'5" do-it-all guys. He's smart, like you said, on the floor. A high basketball IQ. He's constantly looking for his teammates, and he's coming off a 29-point monster just a game ago.
Kansas City Roos will look like this. Jason Petty, Jamar Brown, Christian Corsalt, Ellen Mukeba, and Cameron Foss, the 6'6" junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. For the Bowling Green Falcons, who have won 4 in a row, Falcons will have Marcus Hill, Trey Thomas making his 2nd consecutive start, Deshaun Humphrey, Jason Spurgeon, the 7-foot senior, and Rashawn Agee, senior from Chicago, Illinois. These 2 teams meeting for the 2nd time all time, and for the first time since 2016. Coming up, we'll show you how things played out last time these 2 teams met. But now time for the opening tip. It'll be Mukeba and Agee to jump. We are ready to go. Bowling Green in the home white, Kansas City in the road gold. The Roos with the opening possession, ball in the hands of Christian Corsalt. Off the high screen. Get in the hands of Foss. Just as expected, Deshaun Humphrey guarding Jamar Brown, the Roos' leading scorer. Under 10 on the shot clock. Trying to bounce it inside, ball knocked away for a moment. Mukeba makes a couple of moves, fading away. It's off the mark, and a good stop for Bowling Green to start the game. Here's Marcus Hill pulling the trigger on the 3. Off the back rim and rebounded by Jason Petty. Foss from way outside. Off the mark. Good box out by Humphrey. Hill wants to push up the floor to Spurgeon. He runs right into Foss, and they have a foul or just out of bounds. Looks like it's just going to be Bowling Green basketball out on the baseline. The Falcons averaging just over 72 points a game. There's one more look at the Falcons in transition. Yes, Spurgeon just lost it out of bounds. No foul call. And Trey Thomas to inbound, the Vanderbilt transfer. Fogged up in the middle. They go out top to Humphrey. Kansas City just 1-3 on the road. But you consider the fact that a couple of their road losses have been to number 15 Baylor and number 2 Kansas. This team has been tested. Trey Thomas 3, yes. His 6th 3 of the season, coming off that season high 16 points, in which he was 3 of 5 from downtown. Bowling Green cruised in their last game against Ohio Dominican, a Division II opponent. And a layup all the way to the cup for Christian Corsalt. Averages just over 7 points a game.
And you mentioned that Ohio-Dominican game, Brad, and it really a change of pace there for Bowling Green, because the 2 games prior to that, they won by a possession against Southern Indiana, and they won by 2 possessions game before that.
Those 2 games before that you're referring to were both on the road. Bowling Green glad to be back home. They were very successful, went on 2 out of 3 up in Montreal. And Marcus Hill off the pass fake, pulls up, knocked down. Bowling Green by 3. Marcus Hill, Bowling Green's leading scorer and number 2 in the MAC, better than 19 points a game. In Bowling Green's 6 wins, he's averaged 22.5.
And I'll tell you one matchup that I'm going to be interested in all day long is going to be McCabe and Agee on the inside. Those are 2 big boys down low, a lot of muscle. There's going to be a lot of battling going on in the low post when those 2 are matched up together.
And I tell you what, I'll agree with you right there, because they love to be physical, and they're going to be chatting a lot too. They are not shy with their words. Enthusiasm would be an understatement. Knocked out of bounds, and it will stay at this end. KC, 72.5 points a game. They allow 69 points a game. UMKC also saw Colorado State earlier this season. Colorado State off to a 9-1 start. Worked around the perimeter on the right wing. This is Petty. Corsalt for 3. No. Out of bounds, back to Bowling Green. Bowling Green did a very good job last game of getting to the free throw line and converting. It was Falcons' best success at the charity stripe so far this season, as a blocking foul is called before the shot. This one going against Foss. Spurgeon's going to be a tough matchup with his size against UMKC. The tallest player in UMKC's lineup, 6'9". That's Jeff Ngandu and Julian Ramirez Montero, along with Precious Idiaro, who's yet to play. He is out for the season. And Jason Spurgeon again stands at 7 foot. Came over with Todd Simon from Southern Utah.
And I mean, you saw it on the replay before this last foul here, the matchup, and Spurgeon going up after the foul and sort of just letting that one go at the top of his release. And McCabe got up, but Spurgeon is just that tall and lanky, that he was able to put it up over the top with ease.
Spurgeon with the left hand worked right against Promise Idiaru. And Idiaru is a guy that knows a thing or two about size. He grew about 6 to 7 inches in a short time span about 2 to 3 years ago. He's got his brother Precious Idiaru also on the team, but Precious not available. He's going to stay with KC.
And that was really Jamar Brown there. He went after the basketball on the baseline and threw it off. There was a little scramble for the basketball down low. But, I mean, if Brown doesn't get to that basketball, it's Bowling Green ball for sure.
This is Petty. Plenty of time for the Roos to work with. Up top, this is Corsalt. The opposite corner goes Jason Petty for a good look at a 3, but too much on it. Unable to draw iron. Open, wide open. Trey Thomas. Can't ask for a more open look than that. Could not knock down his second 3.
And that was back-to-back open looks from one end of the floor to the other. One a little bit more in the corner, but both teams struggling right now. But Brown able to get inside for an easy 2.
Strong take there from Jamar Brown. There's a reason he shoots 46% from the field. He knows how to finish with contact. Marcus Hill wants it. They love to post him up. He is a strong guard. That's where he gets a lot of his offense started on that low block. Trey Thomas is going to fire again off the back rim. The Roos in no rush. They're going to go double high. Pass deflected and stolen by Agee. He's got Hill running the floor. The bounce pass will lead to a layup plus the foul. How about Rashawn Agee putting that ball right where it needed to be to lead Hill for the bucket and the foul. This will take us to our first media timeout. The and one for Marcus Hill. He'll step to the line when we come back. Years since the last time these two teams met, and this was how it ended. The game-winning bucket on the runner for Martez Harrison with 2.2 seconds remaining to give the Roos the 71-69 win. Bowling Green would start the season 0-3, and that was part of the Bill Frack tournament in which the Falcons welcomed in the Roos. This game, if you go by the numbers, you would expect a battle right to the end again here today.
And a chance for Bowling Green to sort of redeem themselves on their home floor. You know, you never like to go down like that in the first place, but an opportunity for Bowling Green to come in, like you said earlier, improve on their win streak. Like I said earlier, a chance to continue on and potentially run the gauntlet here in the last portion of their non-conference schedule and head into conference play with that 9-3 record.
Jamar Brown's 3 no, and the Roos are 0 of 5 beyond the arc. Rashawn Agee pushing the tempo. He's going right at the big man, and his lay-in, that's going to be a goaltend. As Jeff Ngandu got his fingertips on it, but late. How about Rashawn Agee? The way this young man goes coast to coast. And I call him young man, but this is a grown man.
And that was a nice spin move. Big guy down low, putting the spin, the 360 on.
His last game, 17 points, 11 boards, his first double-double of this season. Corsalt looking for space. It's a deep 2, and it drops off the front of the rim. Christian Corsalt, who began his career at Pasadena City College, spent a couple of seasons at Nevada, in which he redshirted 1 season, then 1 season at Houston Baptist, and last season at Chattanooga. The man is well-traveled. Humphrey, he is denied there, but the ball found right in the hands of Rashawn Agee, who will shoot 2. Foul goes against Jeff Ngandu. Bowling Green as a team, 64% at the line. Last game, 32 out of 40. For Rashawn Agee himself, well, it has been a struggle at the line so far, 44%. No problem on the first.
And that's one of those fundamentals that you really want to look to, and you want to improve that percentage, because when you shoot lower than 70%, 70, 80% at the line, it's not going to be something that's going to win you a whole lot of games, but it could potentially lose you a whole lot of games down the stretch.
See Marcus Hill playing out high on Corsalt, not going to allow him to get that 3 over top the screen. As the 3 is good. Promise, Idiaru. That's his first knockdown 3 of the season. He's now 1 out of 4. And Corsalt fouls Marcus Hill. The Roos, 33% beyond the arc. Just knocked down their first. They are now 1 for 6. Bowling Green so far as a team shooting 55% from the field. 4 of 4 inside the arc. Marcus Hill, contact, plus the foul. Another chance at a 3-point play.
And for Kansas City, if you continue to let Marcus Hill go inside like that, he's going to make you pay. I mean, you mentioned he's a strong guard. He's not afraid to go inside and draw contact, but the problem is when you're going up against such a strong guard like Marcus Hill is, he finds a way to make those tough buckets and draw the foul, which turns into extra points that you don't need to give up if you're the Roos.
He shot 72% at the line at Southern Union State Community College. So far, Bowling Green, 78% and 1 for 1 today. It's a guy that attempts about 8 free throws a game. Puts Bowling Green up 8, almost 6 minutes in. Corsalt off the high screen. You get a foul before that. It's going against Marcus Hill for his first. Bowling Green's third team foul. Second team foul, rather. And Todd Simon's going to bring in P.J. Edwards. Edwards, the 6'4" sophomore from Springfield, Illinois. The capital of Illinois, by the way, Brandon. Fun fact for you.
I've been there a couple times.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've been to Springfield, Massachusetts.
That's also home of Abe Lincoln. Springfield. How about it?
Springfield, Massachusetts now home of the Basketball Hall of Fame.
All right.
A little too aggressive there in the paint. Going to get a Bowling Green foul. Roos will have it out on the baseline. KC shooting 36% from the field. Jamar Brown directing traffic. Gonna have that length of P.J. Edwards guarding Corsalt now. Corsalt, opposite look to Brown. He'll line it up and connect. Jamar Brown, his 20th three, 35% beyond the arc this season. He's only been held to single digits twice this season. Had 29 points that he had against Tabor. It was his first game of 20 or more. Too much contact with the hands as Humphrey put it on the floor.
And I'm interested to see the way this game plays out for Jamar Brown, because when you come off a 29-point game last game, there's a lot of pressure in terms of internal stuff. You think, okay, I got to go out and do that again, when the possibility of going for 29 again is not great. And so to see how he sort of works that into his game mentally, knowing, okay, how can I be effective, but also knowing the chances of getting to 29 again in back-to-back games aren't necessarily great.
Deshaun Humphrey, that puts him up to 75% from the free throw line this season with 15 out of 20. Turned over. Deshaun Phillip denied. As Trey Thomas denied there, as Bowling Green again looking to get out and run off of any Ruse turnover.
You looked at that pile there under the basket, and Spurgeon was in there at 7 foot, and Thomas was in there at 6 foot, but Thomas was the one that came up with the block.
Trey Thomas, I think that might be a little bit of a generous 6 foot.
Yeah.
AG back in. Out to Spurgeon. He's got a size advantage. He'll go up top to Thomas, who has not been shy from beyond the arc. Again, can't connect. He hit his first. He's missed his last 3 at least. Open look at the other end for Diallo. And Babacar Diallo, the senior from Senegal, second season with the Ruse, connects on the 3. And over second 3.
And over the last 4 minutes from media timeout until we get to our next one here pretty quickly, Kansas City, just every possession, they've continuously just cut into this lead a little bit more, and they found themselves back in this game. At one point, they were down by nearly double digits. I know it was 12-4 at one point, and now they're down by 2 possessions.
Baseline pull-up is short. A Bowling Green foul. The Ruse are going to have a chance to get this back to a 1-possession game after this timeout. It's Bowling Green 19, Kansas City 15. Marvin Menzies, the head coach of the Ruse, season number 2. His team picked to finish 8th in the Summit League. A lot to learn about his team with the new faces that they have. And that Summit League, you look at the top, you've got South Dakota State, Oral Roberts, North Dakota State, This is a deep conference.
Yeah.
Roos basketball out of the timeout. Bowling Green has led by as many as 8. Both teams now shooting 46% from the field. The Falcons actually had the better start offensively. The Roos improving as this first half has gone along. And off the pump fake underneath, nice finish. Mukeba.
And he wanted to slam that thing down on the first look there, but he saw the defense closing in. He took his time, he was patient with it, and he went backside.
He's coming off his 3rd game in double figures with 14 on 6 of 8 shooting. Underneath, spinning it off the glass, Marcus Hill back into the game and right back to work.
And again, I got to emphasize for Kansas City, you cannot let Marcus Hill get to the basket like that. But if you're Bowling Green, keep going that route until they stop you.
Hill's got 8. Straight away, Jamar Brown has found the range. Spent a couple of seasons at Phoenix College, where he was the JUCO Division II Region I Player of the Year, averaging almost 23 points and nearly 10 boards a game.
2nd team All-American a season ago.
Comes from a very athletic family. His father was a football player at Weber State. Mother played volleyball at Arizona State. Both of his brothers play college football. Jamar was all-state defensive back. Marcus Hill getting downhill. There was contact, but no whistle. The Roos out and running. Up top, Mukeba. Spun right into the paint. And Mukeba getting it going, finishing around the rim. He missed the final 6 games of last season due to injury. He averaged 9.5 points, 7.5 boards a game, and ranked top 10 in the Summit League in both blocks and double-doubles. Shot clock winding down for Bowling Green. Left open is Hill, and he got it.
And he was leaning right because out of his hand it was a little left. He needed it to come back a little bit. So you saw the lean right, and he got it. He got the friendly put down.
Good sign for Bowling Green to see Hill hit from distance. He's only shooting at 25% coming in here. Bowling Green's now 2 out of 7.
In Bowling Green right now, he might have 8 points, but Jamar Brown, the Falcons are doing a really nice job covering him right now. I mean, he's blanketed every time down the floor. You can see the intensity. You can see the fact that he wants to get the ball. They just can't get it to him because Bowling Green has him covered with a blanket.
Right back to a 1-possession game, and Spurgeon, he was pushed there from behind as he was following that miss up, and he landed rather awkwardly. Looked like maybe on his right ankle. Going to be helped up. I hope we can get another look at this. This should have been an and 1 for Jason Spurgeon.
I think so too. You're going to see right behind.
And Mukeba hits him from behind. Then he went right into Melvin Ibankale. Not sure how Spurgeon isn't standing at the free throw line right now. We'll work it over to Diallo. Underneath, and now not able to finish it. That's a bunny you got to put in. Todd Simon not happy. The officials, the stoppage in play. Not sure if they're checking something with the clock. They're going to go to the replay monitor. Season number 1 for Todd Simon as the head coach at Bowling Green. Off to a nice start at 6-3. Bowling Green has won their last 4. The Falcons will begin Mid-American Conference play on January 2nd when they take on Eastern Michigan. Can't tell you for
I'm
sure.
not sure what they're looking at.
Yeah, we can't tell you for sure what they are looking at.
Right there, perhaps? But what? But at what? I'm sure we'll get an explanation after they look at it. But that doesn't help us right now. But this is a tight game. I mean, we talked about from the first media timeout to the second media timeout how Kansas City really cut into the lead for Bowling Green. I mean, out of your 28 points, Marcus Hill's got 15 points right now. He's having himself a game here just in the first half. So, and we talked about if you can get him inside if you're Bowling Green, get him inside until Kansas City proves that they can stop that route. Send him to the basket time and time again.
Let's show you where Marcus Hill ranks in the Mid-American Conference when it comes to scoring. He's got 15 points already in this game. Let's see if we can get you that top 10 list coming up. Bowling Green has the basketball up 4, 8:39 remaining in the first half. And there it is, Marcus Hill just behind Tyson Acuff of Eastern Michigan, who's averaging better than 22 a game. Bashir Jihad there for Ball State, right there with Hill. And Enrique Freeman, tell you what, he will be again in the conversation for Mid-American Conference Player of the Year with the work he does offensively and on the glass. He had a dunk, a facial to win it for Akron last week.
Enrique's just one of those guys. He's so fun to watch game in and game out for Akron. But, I mean, it feels like at this point he's been in the conference forever because he was so dominant so early on.
Marcus Hill already has 18 points. Just drilled the three. On the right wing, Corsalt. Corsalt drives into the paint, and it rims out.
And that was a big possession for Kansas City.
They close quickly on Humphrey. Opposite look coming our way. My partner's hands were ready.
I was waiting on it, but I was going to go with the low catch.
Marcus Hill couldn't flush it. The lane opened wide.
If you're the Roos, you want to get a bucket before this next whistle.
Humphrey right on the hip of Corsalt. And Gandu is posting up. Got 10 on the shot clock. And Corsalt trying to get Humphrey off him. Gets the foul before the break. It's Bowling Green by a touchdown with 7:20 left in this first half. Marcus Hill leading Bowling Green with 18. Almost to a season average, and we still have over 7 minutes remaining in this first half. See here, spins baseline, spins it off the window. Worked his way right back into the paint there. The hang and score for Marcus Hill. So strong. Then you leave him open, he's going to do this. Knocking down the three from the right wing. And then going underneath the screen. Can't make that mistake. Drills the three. This has been one of the best starts for Marcus Hill. Just understands where he's going to be able to find success. He's not afraid to force the issue. Much as we talk about defense coming in for these two teams, both teams shooting 50% or better in this first half. And Corsalt, quick first step there against Edwards. Diallo trying to dump it underneath, wasn't there. Taking it right to the rack. PJ Edwards. 6'4" sophomore. Edwards on the season, just over 3 points a game.
And part of the problem for Kansas City right now, while you find yourself down on the verge of being down double digits in this game, is they keep trying to go inside. You saw it right there, but the look's just not open when they get there. So they've been a little discombobulated. They've been throwing the ball a little bit around a little bit. They've got to tighten it up and find the shot that's there for them.
Trey Thomas's pass to Spurgeon. He was swatted. It's going to be Bowling Green basketball out on the baseline. Thomas tried the no look. Checking in, Tyler Andrews, 6'6" sophomore from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And also checking in, Jason Petty returning to the floor. Bowling Green a chance to push this lead to double digits. Thomas off the switch. He got it to go. We weren't going to be able to slow him down. Made the mistake there, did Mukeba, of trying to stay out high on Trey Thomas. Bowling Green by 11 and a timeout. This is the dangerous backcourt for Bowling Green with Thomas and Hill. You started the season with Trey Thomas being out due to injury, now making his second start. And he and Marcus Hill play off one another very well.
And you see just an example of the beginning of the game. I mean, Trey Thomas, he struggled. I mean, you mentioned he gets his first three of the game, but he struggled from beyond the arc since then. Well, Marcus Hill has picked up all the slack. He's taking control of this game, and he's wearing the crown right now. He's got 18 points in the first half. You can't ask for much better from Marcus Hill right now.
Now, if you're Kansas City, you've got 6 minutes and change remaining in this first half. What do you need to see change around for the Roos here to get back into this ballgame?
I think I go back to what I said just a minute ago. You've got to find the shot that's open for you. You continue to try to go inside, which high percentage look makes sense, but when Bowling Green has the presence that they do or have had over the last couple of minutes down low, it's going to make it extremely hard to get those high percentage buckets that you're going after. So you've got to settle in, you've got to slow it down a little bit and find out what shot is going to fall for you right now and then continue to go to work based on that.
Jamar Brown fade away. Bowling Green will live with that look. Hill the rebound on the backside, keeping his eyes up the floor. Slowed up by Diallo. It's out to Edwards. Edwards drives out to the corner. Spurgeon. Yes, sir. Bowling Green moving the basketball leads to a triple for Spurgeon.
And he's going to get teed up. He went back and dropped a flex right in the face of the bench, and the official was right on top of it.
You love it and you hate it, because the emotions that you play in a game, you get a big three like this, lets the KC bench know about it. You don't like to see a guy showing up another team. I get the sportsmanship end of it, but man, what a momentum killer. Technical free throw is going to be shot by Jamar Brown, who's 74% at the line. Can't hit the first.
And that's what you can't have happen if you're Kansas City. You've got to take advantage now. You're down 14 of every opportunity you get. But I believe you got a little smirk on your face, partner. I believe that might go down as the ball don't lie scenario.
That'd be a pretty good way to put it. And I'll say, let him play. Let him play. Not like he did a backflip over there after hitting the three.
But it would have been cool.
Gorsalt lost it. Nearing the 5-minute mark. It's Petty. Quiet offensively so far. Here's Mukeba. Pump fake, score. More of that the Roos need. Marcus Hill underneath. He was hit across the body. Marcus Hill to the line where the Falcons perfect 6 of 6 so far.
And I'd be interested in looking at that again. How many guys did Kansas City have down low that time to try to stop Hill from getting to the bucket? So they're trying to do that They're trying to get that down low presence and stop this explosive guard from going straight to the basket. But, I mean, even now, he finds his way to the free throw line.
You can just see it there from Hill. Even though the ball was knocked away for a moment, he gathered. He was going back up with it no matter what.
And here it is. I mean, 1, 2, 3. Here comes 4. Everybody's in there trying to stop Hill, and he still managed to find his way to the free throw line and got the points that way.
Corsall, no. The tip, yes. Guess who? Mukeba, trying to keep the Roos in it. Puts Mukeba into double figures with 10. Tipped around, Mukeba's got it. And check that. 10 points, couple of rebounds from Mukeba. Corsall, just a little bit of space, couldn't hit the three. And it's saved by Edwards. And a Roos foul. PJ Edwards there running into Nicole Weaving. Local sportscaster, watch it again here. You couldn't quite see it from that vantage point, but Edwards made sure to check on Nicole. Tayshaun Humphrey to the line. 2 for 2 today, 9 points a game. Rims out. That's Bowling Green's first miss of the line as Edwards saves it, but KC's got it. And up ahead to Brown, the catch. He slips. And they're going to call Humphrey for a push. And Tayshaun Humphrey not quick to get up, but it looked like.
I thought Brown just lost an edge down there.
I mean, the officials have the best look at it, but it definitely looked like Brown's feet slipped right out from under him.
He was trying to make a hard stop under the basket.
Humphrey is still down. It's where Humphrey came down on Brown that is the reason he is still down. It's the man we talked about coming in. Guards the opponent's best player, excellent outside shooter.
And he's in some discomfort right now. Ooh, and you saw the left foot on the shoe of Brown, and that got tangled up, and then his right foot got caught onto the other side. So that was just really all sorts of not good for Humphrey there.
Hopefully it's just a strain for Humphrey that he's able to return. So he's going to leave the game for now with 4:04 remaining first half. Jamar Brown to the line. Roos just 1 of 2 at the line so far. And that was on the technical free throws by Jamar Brown.
And this is a vital stretch in this game if you're Kansas City, because you want to cut this lead as much as you can before you get to the halftime break. And when you break this down and go media timeout by media timeout, it was Bowling Green, Kansas City, Bowling Green again. And right now, you're Kansas City. You're trying to cut into this lead before this last media timeout, and they've got it down to single digits again.
9-point ball game. The next whistle will take us to our final media timeout of the half. Marcus Hill is going to get a look at another three. Jamar Brown slipped as he was running out at him, and that gave Hill plenty of time to get it away. About 23 in the first half for Marcus Hill.
He counts for over half the Bowling Green scoring right now. He is just going off today.
And he's shooting better than 60% from the field. It's now the 5th time he's gone for 20 or more in a game.
And he's got 23 minutes and 28 seconds left to do more damage.
There's the three that takes Bowling Green to a 12-point lead with 3:28 left. Bowling Green just 30% from the outside coming into this game today, 5 out of 10, and Marcus Hill has been a big part of that.
A big part is an understatement. I mean, he's got 23 points, grown man effort from Marcus Hill today in the first half. I mean, we're through 17 and a half minutes, and he scored more than a point a minute right now, and that's about all you can ask for if you're Todd Simon and the Bowling Green coaching staff.
Corsalt at the line, 8 of 16, make that 8 of 17 now in the season.
And Corsalt struggled today.
Edwards three, off the back rim, rebounded by Mukeba. Diallo flying the other way, goes to the corner with it. They look for Brown, wasn't there. Now Corsalt to set it up. Summit League versus the Mid-American Conference today here inside the Stroh Center. As the pass is tipped by Thomas, taken away by Edwards. Bowling Green working deep into this shot clock. Trey Thomas pulls up. Brown pulls in the board. Corsalt, he'll get to the right side, tries to go off glass. Thomas has it and out and running. He'll go to Edwards, and Edwards did not have his footing. It's going back to UMKC as Mukeba fell on Trey Thomas. And Trey Thomas gonna need a moment before he gets up.
We've seen a lot of rolled ankles here in the first half of this one. A lot of contact, a lot of ankle stuff. Aggressive, high-paced. Both sides right now getting after it.
Off the high screen, Corsalt gives up to Foss. Diallo. Taken away. Deshaun Phillip, there was some contact. Wasn't going to slow him down. Quick bucket there for Bowling Green off another Roos turnover, their 7th. And trying to slam it back in. That was Mukeba. And Foss up top for three, offline. Bowling Green really looking to extend the lead going into the locker room. They've got less than 90 seconds to play in the first half, and Marcus Hill with the ball. Spurgeon trying to post up there against Foss. Now he's going to set the screen for Phillip. Get that pick and pop action. The three is off the mark. Everything operating through Corsalt, the offensive end for the Roos. He's knocked to the floor. Jamar Brown left open. That ball died on the back of the rim, then the tip wouldn't go. Bowling Green wants a good possession here. Going to call timeout with 48 seconds remaining first half. Bowling Green in this first half has shot 51%. About 60% from inside the arc and 8 out of 9 at the free throw line. One of the most impressive numbers, though, that sticks out in this first half for Bowling Green, just 1 turnover. Bowling Green, when they are victorious this season, turn the ball over about 9 to 10 times a game. In losses, 16 times a game.
And I think on the other side for Kansas City, you know, we're talking about the way that this game is playing out, and you mentioned everything working through Coursant right now. Well, he's got the lowest shooting percentage on the team right now. He's 2 of 8 from the floor. He shot the ball more than anybody else and the lowest shooting percentage. So I think if you're Kansas City right now, you've got to get the ball out of his hands, relieve some pressure, because clearly there's something going on for the Roos right now where he feels like he has to generate everything himself, and that's an avenue that's just not working right now.
Try to trap out high. Bowling Green ready for it. It's Hill. Fade away. Rare miss from Marcus Hill, and Edwards could not pull in the rebound. Another thing you add in about those turnovers, because you're seeing KC struggle to find any baskets down the stretch here of this first half. You're not giving the Roos extra possessions with turnovers either. Mukeba says, why not? It's now 4 of 13 for KC from 3. Down to 10. Coursant off the switch. Now gets Hill back on him, pulls the trigger, and hits the 3. The Roos will get the final bucket of the half. But Bowling Green will still have a double-digit lead going into the locker room, as Marcus Hill has more than half of Bowling Green's points with 23. Mukeba's been working hard in the paint to keep the Roos in it. He's one of the leading scorers, double digits in the first half. But Marcus Hill, doesn't matter where he's at on the floor, he's been able to knock it down. Your score at the break, Bowling Green 45, Kansas City 34. You're watching NCAA Men's Hoops on ESPN. Yes, a little chilly, but hey, it's mid-December. Great to be inside the Stroh Center as Bowling Green leads Kansas City 45-34. Brad Woznicki back with Brandon Lowe. Thank you for joining us. I'll take you into some of the first half highlights. As Trey Thomas got it started from distance for Bowling Green. The Falcons knocking down 5 threes in the first half. But Marcus Hill, one of the stories of the first half.
I mean, Marcus Hill, 23 points. He's got 3 rebounds to go along with it. He has been on his A game today. Kansas City has not been able to stop Hill from getting inside. And we mentioned he's one of those strong guards. He gets inside and he has the strength not only to get the bucket, but also to draw the foul and go to the line in those and-one situations.
The Roos did not start hot from distance, but Jamar Brown did get a couple of looks there that he was able to connect on. Here was Hill, spinning it off the window, going baseline. Going right back to the paint, banking it off the window. Mukeba, one of 2 Roos in double figures. He and Jamar Brown have combined for 21. There's Marcus Hill drilling a 3. You see how dangerous he can be when the defender goes underneath the screen.
I think my favorite bucket from Hill in the first half was the 3 out on the right wing, where he tried to lean it back to the right side because it came off of his hand a little to the left. It ended up going in anyway, so it didn't matter. But, I mean, he's just feeling it right now.
A little bit of lean with it, rock with it.
Yeah.
Look it up if you don't know it. Take you back. Those are your first half highlights. 45-34, Bowling Green leads Kansas City at the break. Bowling Green 45, Kansas City 34. Halftime here at the Stroh Center. Summit League versus the Mid-American Conference. Bowling Green trying to pick up their 7th win and even up the all-time series against the Kansas City Roos. This is just the 2nd meeting all-time and the first since 2016. Offensively, you got to like the shots that Bowling Green was getting and the way the Falcons were able to convert in that first half. Bowling Green shooting 50% from the field.
And Marcus Hill, 8 of 13. We talked about the 23 points that he's had, but that really is just a testament to what Bowling Green's been able to do so far today. You mentioned that 16 of 32 mark. Anytime you can shoot 50% from the floor, you're going to be happy with it, and it's going to win you a lot of games.
Turnovers, 1. Simon gonna like that.
Really surprising, but yeah, as a coaching staff, you love your ball security. You love only having 1 turnover at the end of a half. I mean, if you can do that for another half, we talk a lot of times about turnover margin. You want to win that battle. And Kansas City, they haven't turned the ball over a whole heck of a lot, but the fact that Bowling Green has only turned it over 1 time puts them ahead.
And one thing we did not note coming in here, UMKC without Anderson Kopp. He averages better than 13 points a game and 5 boards. Who's going to pick up the slack for Anderson Kopp? That is a question mark because Jamar Brown, he's leading the team with 11 points as we expected coming in here. Mukeba's got 10. And then you look at Corsalt with 7. They're going to need that 4th, 5th guy to step up.
And Corsalt has tried to have been that guy, but we talked about his low shooting percentage in the first half. Now he did get the 3 going into the break, so I'm interested to see if that changes up the way his game is going. But, I mean, he's got 7 points, but he's also got 4 turnovers. So he's missed a lot of those bunnies inside that you need to fall. So I'm interested to see how his game develops, if he can right the ship.
Okay, one more break here. We'll continue on with our halftime report. Brandon Lowe is going into the stands. Who's he going to find? We'll find out. Back to halftime here in Bowling Green. The Falcons lead the Kansas City Roos 45-34. As we continue on, we're going up to Brandon Lowe, who's in the stands, hanging by with one of the familiar faces for Bowling Green women's basketball. Brandon, take it away.
Caught up with a team that I'm very familiar with, the Bowling Green women's basketball team. Lexi, you guys coming off of a big road trip. You got to go to Iowa City and play one of the top teams of the country, one of the best players in the country in Caitlin Clark, and then you went on the road, Wright State. There was a lot of fans at that one too, a school day game for them. But I mean, we talked in Iowa about just the way that women's college basketball has changed, even just in your time in college. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've seen and just the landscape of college basketball as a player?
Yeah, definitely. Coming off of Iowa and Wright State, very 2 different environments, but also it's been cool, just like you said, to see how women's basketball changed and everything. My freshman year, it was COVID, so not many fans, and then we just had last year where we packed the Stro during the WNIT. We sold it out. Just moments like that and moments coming up with South Carolina and just having the place being packed out, fans coming, women just supporting women and building up women's basketball along with other sports. It's just been really cool.
Now, in terms of performance, you mentioned your freshman season. COVID didn't have a lot of fans, but you had a really strong performance in your freshman year, and you had to fight through injury to get back, but now you're back 100%, and you've been scoring once again. I mean, what's that like for you to sort of return to peak performance by your standards?
Yeah, it's definitely awesome just to feel 100%. My knee's feeling great, but it's also you can't do that without your team. You can't do it without your coaching staff. You can't do it without my PT or my trainer's help or anything like that. So obviously, yeah, it's been great this year, but there's been a lot of work behind the scenes to get to this point.
And now, coming up, you got a big game. You got the #1 team in the country coming into Bowling Green. You mentioned the atmosphere, the WNIT games last year, but this is going to be another game. You know it's going to be exciting. I mean, how excited are you to have the Stro packed to the gills, ready to go on Tuesday night?
Yeah, that's definitely awesome, just having South Carolina, the #1 team in the country. We're talked about in practice that we have no fear, so we're excited for South Carolina to come in here. We're excited for the Stro to be packed out and get a little bit of that same feeling of the WNIT.
As a player, what element does the crowd add to your game in a packed sellout like that?
I mean, it's awesome. It's definitely the home court advantage that everyone talks about.
All right, BG Women's Basketball, South Carolina coming up on Tuesday. Back to you, Brad.
Looking forward to calling that one, and thank you to Lexi Fleming, who's got basketball in her blood. Her dad, a longtime coach. Her brothers both coaching at the high school level. And we'll look forward to Bowling Green women's basketball versus #1 South Carolina here at the Stro on Tuesday night. Bowling Green men's basketball gets ready for the second half against Kansas City when we come back. Bowling Green basketball to start the second half. Brad Woznicki alongside Brandon Lowe this Saturday afternoon matchup. Bowling Green trying to post up Jason Spurgeon. It's lobbed inside off the feed from AG. The easy deuce for Spurgeon. Give him 9 points for the ball game. Second on the team in scoring right now. Spurgeon 4 of 7 from the field after that make. Jamar Brown, 11 points first half, looks inside for Mukeba. They run Foss off a couple of screens for a 3 off the mark. And Mukeba gets the offensive rebound. Corsalt up top 3, no. Tipped in the hands of Foss. Mukeba, he's one-on-one with Agee. Battling. Too hard off the glass and coming in for it was Hill for his 4th rebound.
Just so impressive the way they beat together down low. I mean, there's a lot of power on the inside like we expected in the first half.
Foul from Diallo as he tried to block Marcus Hill. Marcus Hill, by the way, his season high is 33 points. Got 23 in the first half. He'll try to add to it right here. Bowling Green as a team, 8 of 9 at the free throw line in that first 20 minutes. Marcus Hill, 4 of 4 himself. Can't convert on the first. And Melvin Ibakale in. Ibakale 2 seasons at Missouri State, last season at Independence Community College. Going off 9 points, 8 boards. He was a guy that was in the starting lineup for the first 5 games, now has come off the bench in the last 7. Diallo bounces it. Ibakale, left hand. Nice touch. Immediate impact off the bench. Make it a 12-point game. Trey Thomas over to the left side. Spurgeon sets the screen. It was not set. Offensive foul. Just everything was tough getting for Bowling Green to try and develop there, as KC was being very physical. For Bowling Green, with that offensive foul, it's going to go down as just the Falcons' 2nd turnover. Brown from the corner. Agee soars for the rebound. Gives them 4 points, 5 boards on the afternoon. They work it to the corner. Good to see Deshaun Humphrey back out. He went down with about 4 minutes remaining in the first half. A spin and finish for Spurgeon to get him into double figures. Spurgeon just above his season average of 10 points a game. Quick answer at the other end from Corsalt. He's got 9.
And that's kind of what I wanted to see coming into the second half here. I wanted to see him shake off his first half a little bit and get an early bucket, because if Kansas City is going to make a comeback in this one, they're going to need the element of his game that he brings to the team aspect.
A little too much on that 3 from Hill. 2.5 gone by in the second half. Corsalt, sidestep 3. Up ahead to Hill. Humphrey will line it up from the corner. He's got it. Deshaun Humphrey, 5 points, and Bowling Green's 6th 3 today. He is a catch and shoot guy. 41% beyond the arc. Foss. It was contested by Agee. And off of Bowling Green last. As Spurgeon's going to take a nap there along the baseline. He's all right. It's a short rest for Mukeba. Spurgeon's going to go out. Edwards in. Nice job to split the defense. Corsalt all the way to the basket. He joins Brown and Mukeba in double figures. After the corner for Edwards. Didn't miss it by much. Up ahead, Mukeba running the floor, and Agee got his hand in the passing lane. You can see KC starting to pick up the pace here a little bit. Bowling Green can't get caught back on their heels.
And they did a nice job on that last Bowling Green possession to drop down and protect the inside. That's why you saw Hill go with the kick out instead of taking it himself. He thought they had a higher percentage look on the outside from the corner uncontested. And for Kansas City, I mean, you'd rather have Bowling Green take an uncontested three than Marcus Hill go to the rim.
Right back in the hands of Diallo. He's going to think about the three, passes it up to Corsalt. Almost taken away. Mukeba's jump stop out to Brown. Falcon fans wanted a walk. Had to beat the shot clock. Three, no good. Edwards, the rebound. Up ahead, his pass tipped by Foss. And Humphrey could not grab it there in the corner. Ruse basketball. Well, Bowling Green led by 11 at the break. It's 13 after the first media timeout here on ESPN. Well, today we have the Summit League versus the Mid-American Conference, and we check out how the rest of the MAC is doing today. Indiana State all over Ball State in the in-state matchup. Ball State right now has the best record in the MAC overall at 8-2. Western Michigan in danger of dropping to 2-8 if things stay the way they are against Illinois Chicago. And then Michigan and Eastern Michigan, the two arenas separated by 5 miles. Terrence Williams II leads Michigan with 10 points. Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor, quick trip.
And a little Eastern Michigan fun fact, if you have been paying attention to the sports landscape over the past couple of weeks, former Bowling Green women's soccer associate head coach Taylor Clark hired in to be the new head coach of the Eastern Michigan Eagles following Scott Hall's 40 years at the helm of that Eastern Michigan program.
And Eastern Michigan now on their women's basketball side under new head coach Keisha Blanton. She is the interim head coach. As Eastern Michigan women's basketball has really struggled to start the season. Four and a half minutes into this second half. Bowling Green by 13. Corsalt has been aggressive to start this half. He goes opposite to Diallo. Diallo has his shot rim out. Ruse under 38% from the field. Who's going to pick up Edwards? He stumbles. As he got back to his feet, is called for a walk. That's Bowling Green's third turnover here in the first 4+ minutes of the second half. It's twice today that Edwards has lost his footing. Had it earlier in transition where on the catch did not have his feet ready. Diallo quickly to the basket, floats it up and in.
And Corsalt's really trying to lock this team in. He worked off ball that time as Diallo brought the basketball forward out of the backcourt, so he only touched it for about a half a second, but it was an effective pass from him that led to the easy KC bucket.
And Gandu was late on the block. Count the bucket for Hill. Corsalt sees a lane. Off glass and good. Here we go. The Rouge just staying right there, getting this back to a single-digit deficit. Bowling Green's been able to answer because of Marcus Hill's 28 points. Two guards going at it, Corsalt and Hill. Brown. Good look to Diallo. Three, no good. Cleaned up by Ngandu.
And that three for Diallo, it was a good shot. It just didn't fall. So a combination of some tough Bowling Green defense on possessions and then some tough luck on other possessions for Kansas City right now as they're down 11.
Ngandu is the guy that has seen his minutes gone down a bit from last season, but he's trying to make the most of them right now. Had that last follow-up for the putback. And Kansas City basketball. And Diallo there got a hand in there and then ripped it away from Hill. Jump ball possession arrow to the Roos. Diallo's going to get a rest. Here comes Tyler Andrews. Andrews in that first half saw just under 3 minutes of action. Did not have a field goal attempt. He appeared in 31 games as a freshman. Gandu out to set the high screen for Andrews. Drives against Edwards. Foss, shot fake out to Brown, corner. Rouge just cannot buy one from beyond the arc. And now the steal. Deshaun Phillip will lay it in. Bowling Green takes advantage of the Rouge first turnover of the half. Horsall trying to find a little space, goes opposite. Down to 5. And Corsalt's going to be bailed out by a touching foul call. Thought Hill did a good job there just staying in front.
Yeah, you didn't agree with the one earlier that wasn't called against Jason Spurgeon, and then or the technical foul. I don't know that I agree with that one right there.
Marcus Hill's third personal foul. Second personal, rather. Trying to get Brown underneath, wasn't there. Now it's Diallo off the curl. Foss, he hits. See if they get Cameron Foss going. He's hit 32 threes on the season, just hit number 33. He was 0 of 2 from the field in the first half. Bowling Green's done a good job, for the most part, of chasing him off screens. He does average 11 and a half a game. He's one of 2 players to start all 12 games. Brown on the rebound, one and done for Bowling Green on that possession.
And this is what you're going to see for Kansas City right now. While Corsalt's off the floor, Diallo's going to do a lot of the ball work, but somebody's got to get those shots up. So who are they going to get the production from right now?
Step back wasn't there. Ball finds the hands of Andrews, and the Roos within 8.
We haven't seen Trey Thomas shoot the ball in quite some time. Struggled in the first half.
And for Thomas, he was 2 out of 7 from the field in that first half. But Jason Spurgeon's offense has picked up in the second half. He's got 13 for the ball game. Season high for Spurgeon is 17. That's happened twice. Long way to go in this one, just under 11 minutes. Mukeba against Agee. No good, Agee the board. Agee's trying to run right by Mukeba. Over to Trey Thomas, who will let it fly. Agee offensive rebound, nobody got a body on him. He earned that bucket. 6.7 boards, make that 8 boards. Diallo, too hard off the glass. Hill out to an open man. Phillip couldn't connect on the 3, and then things get tangled up in the paint going for the rebound. 9:58 remaining. Bowling Green by 12. Rashawn Agee helping Bowling Green with this double-digit lead. Now Rashawn Agee. Defense at one end, offensive rebound and put back at the other. He needs 7 more points to reach 1,000 for his career. Mexico State to Casper College to Bowling Green. Second season in a Falcons uniform. He's got 6 points and 8 boards. What do you like most about Agee's game now that you're seeing him for his second season with Bowling Green?
I think the emotion, to me, I love the raw emotion that he brings to the floor. And right there, what you saw in that last bucket, when he got the rebound at the other end, he sprinted to the floor. And that's a lot of, you see the matchup. It's a matchup we've talked about all day with him and Mukeba. It's muscle against muscle, big boy against big boy down low. And when you're battling with someone that's the same size, perhaps even a little bit bigger than you, you're that much more motivated to try to get to the bucket and score. And you can see that in what he's brought today, especially on that last possession when he tried to go coast to coast. Couldn't get the bucket himself. He let one of his teammates do the dirty work, but he was right there to pick up the pieces with an offensive rebound and put back points. So it really is a put-together element of his game today.
Bowling Green and the Roos tied on the glass, 27 rebounds apiece. Falcons 11-2 advantage in points off turnovers, helping Bowling Green keep this double-digit lead. So a goaltend was called earlier in this half, about 14 minutes to play, that has just now been reviewed, and they are wiping away the goaltend, so take the points off the board. Bowling Green by 10 with just under 10 to play. Spurgeon hit. Jason Spurgeon to the line. We'll go to the line for the first time today on the season. Spurgeon 61%. Bowling Green today, 9 out of 11. Spurgeon tied his season high in rebounds last game with 10. He goes 2 out of 2 at the line, putting him up to 15 points in the ball game. Inside to Mukeba. Jamar Brown got to the corner and hits the three. 7 threes today for the Roos. They needed that. Get it to a 9-point ball game. Hasn't been a big second half so far for Jamar Brown. Those his first points. Give him 14 for the ball game. Spurgeon against Brown. Spurgeon's hook shot. Agee tried to tip it, able to gather and score. A little flex afterwards from Rashawn Agee.
And just another example of putting that muscle to use on the inside for number 12.
Mukeba goes to work. Big man on big man, the matchup you've been watching all day.
And Corsalt's back on the floor for Kansas City too, so he's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit moving forward.
Spurgeon almost lost it. 2 defenders, he calls timeout. It's going to leave Bowling Green with 2 timeouts remaining, 8:43 on the clock. Well, we can show you how our impact players have done here today. Here in a moment during this timeout as Bowling Green leads 65-56. Marcus Hill, guy leading Bowling Green coming into this game and scoring with almost 20 a game. Today he's got 28 to lead the Falcons, but Deshaun Humphrey, the guy we talked about coming in, 5 points in 20 minutes of action. Remember, he missed the last about 4 minutes of the first half when he got a little twisted up coming down on Jamar Brown, but he's back out there. He's battling and trying to just make the right play out there to keep this offense moving.
And sometimes after you go down like that in the middle of a game, it shakes you up a little bit. And he's been back out onto the floor. He's been effective for Bowling Green. He might only have 5 points on the scoreboard, but he's filling his role right now for the Falcons. They really don't need a whole lot out of him in terms of scoring because of what Marcus Hill has been able to do today. Hill nearing 30 points. I mean, anytime you can get that from one individual player, it lessens the load on the rest of the team, and you can focus more on filling in your role, whatever it may be, away from the basketball.
And Deshaun Humphrey is actually holding Jamar Brown below his season shooting percentage of 46% a game. Going to try and continue to make it tough on him the rest of the way. And Brown did get that 3 moments ago to put him up to 14 points for the ball game. We'll keep an eye on his final stats when this one goes final, as Bowling Green is looking for their 5th straight win.
And for Kansas City, I mean, Brown, what you don't see there is he's also got 8 rebounds to go along with that, so very close to a double-double for him, as well as Alan Mukeba. He's got 12 points and 7 rebounds. So those are 2 guys that have stepped up and done a lot for Kansas City. Will it be enough at the end of the day? Who knows? We've still got 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go, but right now they're down by 9.
Jamar Brown does have 1 double-double this season. That came against UNC Greensboro. Bowling Green men's basketball will be back in action on Tuesday here at the Stroh Center for a Kids Day game, 11 a.m. start against Hampton. That's part of the Tuesday doubleheader here in Bowling Green, when Bowling Green women's basketball Tuesday night welcomes in number 1 in the country, South Carolina. 7 o'clock tip right here on ESPN. Join us.
And you know I'm excited for both of those games. It's going to be a doubleheader for both of us, too.
Got it. Love doubleheader days. We get used to those when Mid-American Conference play comes around.
It's going to be loud and rowdy in here, though, Tuesday night when South Carolina's in the building. And we talked to Lexi Fleming about just the atmosphere, but Fred Shamil, he's going up against his former team and head coach Don Staley.
There's Marcus Hill being patient with the basketball, guarded by Mukeba. Humphrey is going to let it go. And Foss pulls in the rebound. Chance for the Roos to get within 7, maybe 6. Mukeba. He's a tough guard, that NBA body.
And one of the things when you compare Mukeba and AG a little bit quicker, a little bit more athletic, Mukeba a little bit more built. And for Bowling Green, when AG's on the inside, Kansas City, you've got to essentially double him on the board so he's not getting the rebound, because one-on-one, AG's going to beat you every time.
7:45 remaining, immediate timeout. Things tightening up here in Bowling Green. The Roos down just 7. Well, Freddie Falcon outside the Stroh Center joined the day. Bowling Green right now sitting on a 7-point lead. The Falcons led by as many as 14. Bowling Green has led this entire game. The Roos, though, have plenty of time to go, and they're within striking distance. Kansas City still shooting above 40% from the field. Bowling Green at 49%.
And Marcus Hill's been the story of the day. I mean, he has led Bowling Green. He's been scoring the ball at will. Whether it's inside or outside, he's made them both today, and it hasn't mattered.
Thomas looking for an open man. Here's Hill, 26 points today. He'll glide to the basket and be denied. Roos can make it a 2-possession game. Diallo's going to take the screen from Mukeba, and it's an illegal screen. Mukeba's first personal foul, no danger there.
And Kansas City over the last couple of minutes has really started to lock Bowling Green up a little bit defensively. I mean, you saw the block on the last possession for the Falcons, but they've struggled to find offense as of late. So how are they going to counter?
Trey Thomas pulls up free throw line, wouldn't drop. There's Corsalt, 13 points, 4 assists. Now Diallo right wing. Foss, catch and shoot. Hill. Out of bounds along the baseline. Bowling Green will keep it. Going to give Mukeba a rest. Keep McCauley in. Humphrey. Bowling Green's got to go to work here. Hill saw a little bit of space and cashes in on the three.
There goes that man.
29 for Hill. Gives Bowling Green 7 threes on the afternoon, about 30% from three, right on their season average. See if Bowling Green can build on this 10-point lead now. AG against Diallo. And ball lost by AG as he drew a couple of defenders. AG surprised there wasn't a foul call there. And right now, Marcus Hill just trying to tell AG keep his head right now. Don't worry about it. Andrews back in. Diallo out.
And I'm sure that may be a little tough, be a little tough to do right now for Bowling Green, because over the last couple of minutes, it has felt like you're behind the 8 ball, even though you're up 10 on the scoreboard.
Roncollet picks up the foul. It's his first. Spurgeon denied. And up ahead, able to get that ball to Brown, though he wasn't looking for it at first. What do we have? Foul on the floor. Humphrey was trying to get back. Stop that transition opportunity. Bowling Green's 3rd team foul.
And I thought initially it might have been an offensive foul, but a little back step there at the end. The feet weren't entirely set.
You saw it just like I did. Step back for Corsalt. Jamar Brown, offensive rebound, well off the mark of that putback attempt. KC bench wanted a foul. It's going to be Bowling Green basketball.
And it's really been a tale of 2 different halves for Corsalt, because in the first half, there were a lot of shots that I watched that young man take and just, why take that shot? In this half, it seems like he's taking all the right shots, but they're just not going for him.
This has not been the prettiest of halves for either team offensively. And Bowling Green sitting on a 10-point lead with 5.5 to play. Thomas's pass tipped. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Hill had to beat the shot clock, 3 no good. Brown on the floor, able to get it to Foss. You're going to get to a point here for the Roos where they're going to have to start to make every possession count. Corsalt. That's Bowling Green's 4th team foul. Roos would love to get into the bonus. Try and cut into this deficit without any time coming off the clock. Eben Kale against AG. Corsalt trying to get around AG. He's going to get to the basket. Couldn't finish it. Diving for it. Humphrey. And time's going to expire. That ball never hit the rim on the attack on the layup. Andrews diving for it. Humphrey, last man to get there for Bowling Green after Hill went after it. We're going to get a Kansas City timeout with 4:33 left. That'll leave the Roos with 2 timeouts remaining. Each team left 2 timeouts remaining, plus 1 more media timeout. We can give you a look ahead for Kansas City as the Roos right now, things stay the way they are, they would drop to 5-7 overall and 1-4 on the road. They're on the road again against East Tennessee State next. Then they get conference play going against Oral Roberts on December 29th. Remember, Oral Roberts picked to finish 2nd in the Summit League. And at St. Thomas, at Sacramento State, and Portland State.
Oral Roberts, a former tournament darling.
Bracket buster at times.
Yeah. It always starts out where everyone hates that the underdog beats their bracket, wipes away their winning streak in their bracket, whatever it may be. But then by the end of it, oftentimes we see America rally around some of the underdog teams, and Oral Roberts was one of those.
The games against Sacramento State and Portland State will be a part of the Big Sky Summit Challenge there in that first week of January. And it's back to Summit League play after that Portland State game. KC will take on North Dakota State, picked 3rd in the preseason poll. They won't see the favorite South Dakota State until January 25th. That will be in Brookings, South Dakota.
North Dakota State, what a mascot. The Jackrabbits.
I lived in South Dakota for a couple of months back in my college days.
I remember that. Do you remember that? It's been a while.
You didn't know me then. A fun fact from our director, Adam Vinatieri from South Dakota State. How about a legendary kicker as Bowling Green goes up 12 on AG's bucket. That's 10 for AG.
He needs 5 more.
3 more by my math, and a lay-in. 3 more would get AG to 1,000 for his career.
I blame that one on the scoring monitor.
Over to Humphrey. AG trying to post up. 10 for Bowling Green to work with. Down to 3. Phillip will get the 3 up. On the follow, no. Out and running Corsalt. He's got Andrews to his right. Andrews pulls up for the mid-range. Knockdown, 8-point game, just over 3 to play. Bowling Green still shooting 45% from the field. Overall, it's been a good shooting day for both sides.
And you can see the effort that Bowling Green's making right now to use extra time on each possession.
AG was blocked by Mukeba. It's out to Humphrey. Would have been a big 3 had that gone. And off of Kansas City last. Bowling Green will have it out of the media timeout. 2:52 left. See if the Falcons can close the door on the Roos when we return. Under 3 to play, 8-point ball game. Bowling Green trying to hold on here at home. Falcons trying to make it 5 wins in a row for Hampton on Tuesday. Bowling Green will have 2 games at home next week. Continuing on this 5-game homestand, they'll also see Siena Heights next Friday for a 2 o'clock matchup just before Christmas. Into Spurgeon. He's going to work against Mukeba. Trying to back him in. Spurgeon will shoot 2. He's got 15 points today.
And this down the line could translate into what we kind of talked about at the beginning of the game with Bowling Green's free throw percentage. It's not the greatest.
Today, 12 out of 14. Bowling Green improving at the line as a team for these last couple games.
A strong, much-needed uptick.
And those 2 make Spurgeon give him 17 points. It's also 4 of 4 at the line. Andrews 3. And Bowling Green not able to keep that ball in bounds. Keeps the door open for the Roos here. Lobbed into Andrews. He'll catch. Could not reverse it up and in. Now this is where Bowling Green can take this under 2 minutes. Stay with us post-game for our player and coach interview. Hill swatted out of bounds by Mukeba. He's had a couple of blocks here down the stretch.
That ended up in about row 4 or 5.
The youngsters enjoyed it. Right into Edwards. And Bowling Green gets an easy one off the inbounds. 4 points today for Edwards. He's really done a lot of his work on the glass with 7 boards. And timeout Kansas City with 1:52 left. As Bowling Green leads it by a dozen. We'll take a look at what's to come for Bowling Green. As we said, they'll continue on at home Tuesday and Friday. Bowling Green has Hampton coming to town. 11 a.m. start on Tuesday. Siena Heights Friday, and then Mid-American Conference play. Well, that first test on the road at Akron will give Bowling Green a great idea of where they're at in Mid-American Conference play. You go to the Jar, James A. Rhodes Arena. It is not an easy place to win.
It's loud, it's rowdy. Akron, they bring a good team into the Mid-American Conference every single season. We talked about Enrique Freeman earlier. And, I mean, that's not the place you want to start on the road in the conference, but for Bowling Green, hopefully you can get jump-started in that January 2nd matchup against Eastern before you have to go on the road into that tough environment.
Return home to take on the Ohio Bobcats on January 9th. How about the fact that next year there's not going to be any more East and West divisions? Not bad. Thought about that?
I don't like the division format. I don't like the division format, and I think, Big Ten football is a good example of that. Every year it seems like Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, and then you go to the other side and everyone's kind of like, well, it's just the West. And that's the reason to me I don't like the divisions, because I think based on the way that they're formatted, you don't always get the best two teams playing at the end of the season. Granted, basketball is a little bit different because you have the tournaments at the end of the season, but I'm just not a division fan at the college level.
So Big Ten-wise, you would be okay with Michigan and Ohio State playing each other back-to-back?
100%.
Okay, all right.
I think the best two teams should play for a conference championship and then get a chance to play for whatever case it may be, a national championship, a playoff appearance. But that's changing too.
Yeah, bowl season underway. Which bowl game are you most excited to see? Today you had Ohio and Georgia Southern. We know Bowling Green's going to be in the Quick Lane Bowl taking on Minnesota.
That's the one, the Quick Lane Bowl with BG, obviously, and the ties to Bowling Green here. To see that one play out in Detroit once again. Interesting that they drew Detroit again in back-to-back seasons. And then I'm interested to see some of these matchups like the Ohio State and the Missouri. Ohio State without Kyle McCord, who was their starter all year long. It'll be Devin Brown for the first time for the Buckeyes. And then I think Alabama versus Michigan in that semifinal for the playoff. I think that's going to be a good game as well.
Would not mind going back to the Rose Bowl. I had a chance to see Ohio State and Washington there in Urban Meyer's final season. Less than 90 seconds to play. Ruse got some work to do. They got to work quickly, and Jamar Brown's three, not going to get it. They're now 7 out of 26 from three. And Jamar Brown did keep his feet on the ground off that pump fake. And Humphrey more than frustrated by that foul.
And I don't know about that. I think Brown might have left his feet, and that might be why some of the frustration is stemming from that Bowling Green side.
Off the inbounds, rims off, Edwards the board. Under a minute, folks. Poked away, Diallo. He's going to find the trailing Corsall. Ruse making an 8-point game and use their final timeout with 48 seconds left. Bowling Green overall today, a very good day taking care of the basketball, especially in that first half. They've had a few in the second half that did allow the Ruse to get within single digits, including that last one. Bowling Green 6 turnovers today. Checking back on the rest of the Mid-American Conference, and Michigan's up 16 on Eastern Michigan. Indiana State did close out Ball State to hand the Cardinals their third loss, and Illinois Chicago defeated Western Michigan 89-68. For the Summit League, North Dakota and Utah Tech coming up tonight, and South Dakota taking on UC Irvine, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Bowling Green's got to get around this full court press. Trey Thomas goes down. Bowling Green fortunately did have 2 timeouts left, forced to use one. This is good situational basketball for Bowling Green, and the situation they have been in before. You touched on it earlier, that 2-point win over Southern Indiana at Southern Indiana.
Yeah, and I mean, just the way things play out in non-conference play against some of these teams, it gives you good experience that you're going to need late in games, later on in the conference season, when you're battling for A, championship, B, a postseason tournament appearance, or in the postseason tournament, just trying to advance to the next game.
Falcons have had their fair share of tight games in that Mid-American Conference versus Sun Belt Challenge. Bowling Green won by 6. It's Arkansas State. Lost by 7 to Western Kentucky. Had the 4-point win over Canisius. 74-66, 43 seconds left. Hill will bounce it into Spurgeon. Spurgeon fouled. He's 4 for 4 at the line today. This will be a 1-and-1. Bowling Green does not have a foul to give if they want to avoid putting Kansas City in a bonus. For Jason Spurgeon with that make, that's a new season high, 18 points. Back rim on the second. Ruse got to go. Corsall. Tipped out to Mukeba. Under 30. Step back three. It's good. 6-point game, 23 seconds left. Not over yet, folks. Into Spurgeon. Goes to Thomas. No foul yet. And there it is with 19 seconds left. Corsall, his second foul. He was trying to say that he fouled Spurgeon before that.
Thomas has only been to the line 5 times this season. You mentioned spent some time out. But of those, 3 of 5, 60%. But obviously that sample size is relatively low in the grand scheme of things.
For Trey Thomas, this is just his 4th game in a Bowling Green uniform after starting the season injured. Promise Idiaru in.
And we talked about it for KC. Both Brown and Mukeba earned those double-doubles today.
Lead is 8, down to 15 seconds. Corsall can't get it back to a 6-point game. Ball's being tipped around. And we're going to get a Kansas City foul that's going to lead to more free throws for Jason Spurgeon.
And that will likely put an end to the Kansas City attack.
.9 seconds remaining. Looking at Jamar Brown, he's going to finish about right on his season average, 14 points, 10 boards today. His second double-double of the season. Reminder to stay with us when we go final. We've got post-game player and coach interview coming up. Spurgeon gets the second to go down, 10-point game. Spurgeon's got it. And the final seconds will tick down here at the Stroh Center. Bowling Green closes it out. 79-69 the final. The Falcons have now won 5 in a row and improved to 7-3 overall. And this makes Bowling Green now 5 of their last 6 games, holding opponents to 40% shooting or under. UMKC drops to 5-7 overall and 1-4 on the road. The Roos held to 69 points today. It's a good test for both teams as conference play is just around the corner. Take you through the final numbers in this one. Good win here for Bowling Green at home. They went into the locker room leading by 11, win it by 10. And your final numbers, Bowling Green shoots 43% from the field. Falcons 11 assists today and 8 of 28 from 3. Bowling Green knocked down 5 of their 8 threes in the first half, and the points in the paint, Falcons were +6. The turnover is something that Todd Simon will like to see. Just 6 in this ball game, only 1 in the first half. Joined now by Bowling Green head coach Todd Simon. And coach, start right there, taking care of the basketball. You limit the opportunities for the Roos to make a comeback in this one.
Yeah, we've done a nice job taking care of the ball, and you know, I think that's been an emphasis for us in you know, just giving us an ability to get a shot in the basket every possession is a huge deal.
Marcus Hill, the start he had, the first half he had in this ball game, 23 points, the way he asserted himself early.
Yeah, Marcus has been great, and you know, we're so short-handed right now a little bit, and guys banged up. You know, he's kind of a constant for us right now, and he makes every big play when we need it.
And the work this group is doing as a team at the free throw line, this is an area you guys have improved, and we know once we get into Mid-American Conference play how clutch those free throws are going to need to be in tight ball games.
Yeah, no question. It's something we've been really working on, and you saw, again, almost 86% today, 80% last game out. Something we believe in. We know we're going to be a good shooting team, and you know, we're starting to see it.
You went into the locker room leading by 11. You saw the Roos get it down to 6 there at the end, but what was the biggest key down the stretch to keeping them at bay?
You know, I think the biggest thing is starts on the defensive end. You know, this is, you know, 5th out of the last 6 opponents that we've held under 40%, and you know, that's a big emphasis for us. We think we can continue to be an elite, you know, top defensive team, and amongst the leaders in a lot of categories in the nation, it's going to translate to victories.
Right now, number 1 in the conference, holding opponents to 40% or less. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Bowling Green head coach Todd Simon, and now we're going to send it over to Brandon Lowe, who's standing by.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming out.
Here with Jason Spurgeon. Jason, you had a big game today at home again for the second game in a row. And Marcus Hill had a really strong game as well. Between the two of you, it seemed like you guys had your definition of Falcon basketball going on today. What was the game plan coming in, and do you feel like you guys hit your marks and executed?
Well, you know, we worked each other as a team a lot this week, and, you know, improve individually. You know, Marcus set the pace with us from the front, being the one guy controlling everything we got. So, you know, he did a great job. He did a great job doing what he needs to do, and he showed us the way to go and set the tone for the first half, and then we continued into the second.
Now, you guys, I mentioned, you're game 2 of a 5-game homestand. I mean, you're from Australia. You came a long way to play basketball here, whether it was at Southern Utah with Coach Simon before this, but now here in Bowling Green. I mean, how much fun are you having at home in front of the Stroh Center crowd?
You know, it's a great atmosphere. You know, it's a second family, really. You know, being so far home away from family, the Stroh and the people that come and support, it's a whole new family. So it's great to perform in front of them, play in front of them. It's always nice to play at home games. Don't have to travel. You can stay in your own bed, you know, and enjoy the crowd.
Well, Jason, congrats on another big victory. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, Brandon. Final score in this one, Bowling Green 79, Kansas City 69, as Marcus Hill and Jason Spurgeon combined for 49 points. Rashawn Agee had a double-double to help the Falcons cause with 10 points, 12 boards, and the Falcons get it done here at home, now 7-3 overall, and even in the all-time series against the Roos, 1 win apiece. That'll do it for us. For Brandon Lowe, our director, Brandon Walters, I'm Brad Woznicki, reminding you, today's game can only be seen on ESPN. The Falcons have now won 5 in a row.